Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, y'all. Welcome. Appreciate y'all tuning in to the Bernard Brown Show. We want to welcome everybody for. I know y'all could have did something better on y'all Sunday night, but you know what? I got something for you. I got what y'all was waiting for so long. Y'all gonna be happy. I'm happy, and I ain't gonna lie. I am nervous. I couldn't sleep last night thinking about it. I've been nervous all day because it's hard to interview one of your best friends because you try to get out the fun that you had, you know, and you once you try to get it out, but it always stay in. But I want to welcome the one and only, my friend, my brother. He's always been locked in. I thought he was gonna be the next president of the United States before Obama was. Before Obama was, man. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, let me just put this up right now because y'all know who I am. Y'all know who I am. There you go. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the one and only Mr. Julius Juju. Welcome, boy. Welcome to the show. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, sir.
Hey, you know what? I got to relax. I've got my black. I even brought a new cup for you, boy. I even brought a new cup. I brought a black cup. You see?
I see it.
It's supposed to be. This ain't coffee. This ain't coffee.
You know it's not.
Yeah,
it ain't water either.
Ain't water, ain't coffee. We're gonna leave it like that. But like I said, everybody, I want to thank y'all for tuning in tonight. This is gonna be a great show because you know, this young man here is a prime example of it don't matter where you start, it's where you finish. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna break it. I'm gonna tell everybody how I feel about you for about 3 minutes, because I can go 3 years, but I'm just taking it 3 minutes.
you too can.
Hey, I'm gonna go 3 minutes. This young man, he's living his dream. He's living his dream. It's not always wrong. It's right. And this young man had always been an inspiration to me in my life. And you know, he know how I feel. His family know how I feel. All my boys, we all locked in. We've been knowing each other, man, close to 50 years.
50 years.
And, yep. And we've been always friends, best of friends, best of brothers. And I am proud of this young man. Like I say, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And I just want everybody to know, man, I am truly nervous. And they say if you ain't nervous, then you don't love what you do. And I love what I do. And I wanted everybody to see a side of this young man that we already see. I want the American people, the whole world, to see the Julius Hall story. And I got my car. Like my brother said last week, you went to the dollar store? Yeah, I'm on a budget. I'm on a budget. I can't be like Shannon Sharp all of them. I'm on a budget here. You know what I'm saying? I must be like, you know, I'm going to keep it clean, but I'm going to keep it mean. Let me say it now. I'm going to keep it clean, but I'm going to keep it mean. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Julius Hall. Juju.
I'm glad to be here, my brother. I'm glad to be here. Anytime you call, you know, we got the answer to see what you want.
There you go. And there's some, and sometimes you may have to hang up the phone.
That's correct.
Hey, when it comes to me, you may have to hang up the phone. But one thing I didn't realize, Juju, I didn't know out of all us, you know, our boys and everything, I'm the baby. I'm the loudest one, but I guess I'm the baby. Everybody's birthday is ahead of mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm August, and everybody else up there, and I'm the last one. I'm the last one to born.
Mine was in January.
Yeah, definitely. You the big dog. It's January the 1st. You the big dog. You
Yeah,
know
I'm
what I'm
old
saying?
man.
Yeah. So this how we gonna do it. I'm gonna do it like this here. It's gonna be the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna start off with the good, and then we're gonna go all the way down to the good, the bad, and ugly. You know what I'm saying? You know how most of those shows they go from the bad all the way down then to the good?
Yeah.
Not on this one. I'm going to the good, man. This could be a part 1, part 2, because if we go all we'll be sitting here for 3 years just talking about everything. So I want to ask you this here. Let's go. I'm going to ask you this here. Let's get personal. Why did your beautiful wife Tanya Hall choose you to be her husband, and why did you choose Miss Tanya Hall to be your wife?
Well, I guess we both got lucky. You know, sometimes fate would have it where you're in certain locations where you meet a person, or where you run into a person, or where where you are supposed to be. It's destiny. So that's all I could say is we both were lucky to have been in the same place at the same time. I've been knowing my wife 45 years or so. We've only been married 11, going on 12 or something like that. But it's been we went to high school together, the same high school, even though she was a year or so ahead of me. But that's where we met at long time ago when we were in high school. She was the cheerleader, the homecoming queen, and everything else, and I was the chaser. I was up in the bleacher looking and say, "Ooh, Lord, that girl look like me. Ooh, wait, she do a cartwheel or something?" You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, so I still couldn't get to her, so I befriended her brother.
Oh, okay.
So I could go around there every now and then and see her. She still didn't know. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my thing is this: we both, you've been married for 11, and then me long. So, what did it take for y'all to be locked in the way y'all lock in? Because when I know for a fact when I'm around you and when you in public, man, it's like solid as a rock. You know what I'm saying? Y'all what peaches and her and. So what's the flavor to keeping y'all strong as one?
I think it's just shared interests, my wife is a person that loves to make a difference, and her thing is making a difference in children's lives.
Mm-hmm.
She taught for 31, well, she taught for 15 years, then she was an administrator for another 15, 16 years. And then now she's a board member for the last going on 8 years. So and then me, I always wanted to make a difference in the community. So it's all about making a difference where you at. And making a difference is all what it's all about. If you can't make a difference, then what are you doing it for? You have to be able to try to make some type of progress in your life. And if you can't, if your life is good, then it's incumbent upon you to make somebody else's life better also. And so that's where both of us get that from, and that's why we get along so well. And you always see us out doing things in the community because it's about community. We believe that we have, so we need to give.
Right. So who the boss in the house?
The warden.
Okay. Good answer.
That's what me and my stepson Chance. That's what we call her behind her back. She don't know. We call her the warden. Anytime me and him always talking, he always say, "What you think the warden to do?" I say,
well, she know now when she watching them. She know now. She know
yeah,
now.
yeah, she's the one.
So sometime in like I said, we all been married. High school sweetheart, locked in. You have your ups, you have your downs, you have your turmoil, you have all that. So when that come, are you the calm one, or you just like, okay, we're gonna work it out. There you go. We're gonna work it out.
No, yeah, it's always you got to work it out. I'm always calm. I don't let nothing shake me too much. But it's always somebody got to have the steady head to make things work. And if everybody in a panic, then how can you solve the problem?
True. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you always, for some reason, I'm gonna get off track for a minute, but some reason you always been that calm, cool, collected. You was like that when you was growing up, when we was growing up together. You have that, like nothing don't rattle you. You know what I'm saying? And I have a hard time just being like that because everything rattle me. But where do you get that from? You just that calm, smooth. We used to call you Michael Jackson, smooth criminal, and you just. Where do you get that from? Because I need to know.
The thing is if you're in a panic and everybody else sees that you're in a panic and you're supposed to be the leader, then what are they going to think of you? Now, there's no, a absolute thing where a person is not in fear. There's fear in everything. There's excitement and your adrenaline is running, but you can't let the world see that you're shook by it. And you have to have the mentality to say that I can overcome this, or I can do something about this. I can make this right. You can't let the world see that you're shook. Like anybody else, I cry, but I don't let the world see me cry. I cried Friday for the first time in public, probably in 40 years. In at least 35 years. 1970, since 1991. I cried in public, but I was given this. I was saying something at one of our good friends' funeral, Walter's funeral. But while I was delivering it, I got emotional, and I don't usually get emotional about too much. I'm just that steady. I don't let people see me get emotional.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's always the demeanor that I put on if I don't need to be in a panic mode.
Yeah. You have one of the biggest heart person that I know. You if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this platform. You know what I'm saying? I would probably be still cussing everybody out, saying what I want to say and acting a fool, but I remember that I can remember like it was yesterday when you said, hey, I want you to come in my show for one time. Just want you to come on the show. Come on the Rabble. Come on there, one time. And then if you like it, okay. I said, man, I ain't coming on the show, man. I got to do something else to do. I ain't got time to come. So I popped in and I came on, had a good time, and you addressed. You said, you know what? Why don't you get your own show? And I was like, slow down now. You had a hard time getting on this show. You talking about getting your own show, but it happened. And that's what you do. You touch people's lives in the community, in everything. And like I said, I'm gonna get off the I'm gonna get back on the right track, because we timing, but I want to get most of the thing part one, because there's a part one, part two. So let's talk about your kids. Let's talk about your kids. You got 3 or 4 kids, right? Let's talk about your kids.
Well, I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hey, okay. Yeah, okay.
I got, 3.
Let's talk about all of
them.
them.
three. Yeah, I got the blended family we have over here. 2 of hers and 4 or 5 of mine.
Right.
They are not all here. It's just one star who just walked in. She's the only one that stays here, but the rest of them are all out on their own. 2 in Atlanta, 3 in Atlanta, and 3 here. And so, it's just my kids. But I don't too much worry about my kids. They are who they are. I worry about my grandkids.
Right.
About to me, whatever I do and whatever I'm building is for my grandkids, because kids these days don't have an interest in doing what their parents are doing. But my grandkids won't have a choice if I leave something for them. So it's all about what I'll build for my grandkids. Family is important to me, and especially your immediate family, making sure that everybody's okay. But I got 2 sons and 4 daughters.
Okay. 2 sons, 4 daughters. All right. What's when people have a big family, big siblings and big children and grandkids and all that, what is your relationship with them, and what's the word, impact that you have on their life right now?
With my grandkids or my kids?
Your kids and your grandkids.
Well,
first your kids.
Well, with my kids, I try to guide them into don't make the same mistakes that I might have made when I was young, or that their mom made that when she was young. We try to make sure, and that's any parent, you want to make sure that your kid's life is better than your life. We're the only generation in the history of the world that won't be leaving it better for our kids when we leave here. We're the only generation in the history of this world, the blacks. This generation will not make it better for the kids coming behind us. Every generation before, our mothers made it better, and we're better than they were. They were better than their grandparents were. They were better than their parents were. We're the only nation we're the only generation, African Americans, that will leave this earth in the next 30 years and won't leave it better for our kids coming behind us. And that's a fact. It's so long to get into for the system that's put in place that is killing us. And we have to acknowledge that there's a plan to destroy us. And we have to acknowledge also that we have to come up with a plan to save us. And that's what we do with the things that we're trying to do with the things that we do. We're trying to save us. We're trying to put the information out. We're trying to make sure that the information gets there and people understand what the real deal is, and not what the mass media is going to show you, the mainstream media is going to show you. You got to be able to get the information and break it down yourself. For my grandkids, those kids will be the ones that's coming up and will probably need this information. They will probably need whatever legacy I can leave that they can take to the next level. But right now, for me, and my kids, they're so busy running around with their busy lives, they don't have time to get into what I'm into. You
Right.
know what I'm
Right.
saying? The only
Yeah.
one close to getting into anything that I'm doing, I mean, Star and Chance, and those are my stepkids. You know, I love them like they're mine, but
Hmm.
they do more inside my company than anybody. You know, than any of my
Okay.
kids. They're in it. You know, they're right here, but they're in it. They know everything. Star knows everything I'm doing, as far as the company. Chance knows most of it because he helps with a bunch of the stuff that I
Right.
need. But it'll benefit them and my grandkids because they'll have knowledge of what I'm doing. The other
Right.
kids don't have any knowledge of what I'm doing. So that's like Bill Gates. I mean, if you got kids and they're not, and you got 6 kids, and Bill Gates got 6 kids, and only 2 of them are wanting to be in the company, the other 4, what can they do if something happened to Bill Gates? You know,
Right.
you can't
Right.
be jealous of the 2 that's going to take over. Those
Hmm.
2 continue the legacy, you know. But the other 4 who don't want to be involved, then um, what can you say? You just all you can say is, okay, I can do something for the grandkids.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Yeah. And that's a good point. I didn't, you know, what we say, our parents, you know, leave this, leave that. But this generation, like you say, and that's a good point and a good analogy to look at it, is what they leaving.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? For their kids, because they don't even have their stuff together. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, so that's why I take and moving on to the next subject. I'm glad we piggyback on that because I'm for the piggyback on this. Um, and let me get my glasses on. All right. You are the founder and the co-owner, the CEO, president of this big, beautiful network called Our Black Media Network. How did that started? How did that started um, in the beginning? How you came up with that?
Well, if you look behind me, you'll see the banner back there with Our Black Media on it. You see ATR. Everything that I do is under ATR. ATR is the parent company for everything I do. Uh, ATR stands for All Things Relevant. And everything that I do, I try to make it relevant to what I'm doing in the community, for
Mm-hmm.
my people, for my community. It's not about black, it's not about white, but it is about black to a certain degree because we're the ones in the lowest level of the ladder. So we have, in order for us to move up, it has to be people that care. It has to be people that care about our community.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about hating on nobody else. It's not about hating on the race or nothing. It's about building something so we can all climb the ladder to success. Our Black Media was started, ATR was started from just having a conversation with my good buddy Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was working in the warehouse. I was in the warehouse, making sure that this warehouse was in tip-top condition. I was like I wasn't a supervisor. I was just a supervisor of an area inside
Right.
a big old huge warehouse. And I was sitting on the forklift one day moving stuff, and the big supervisor done came by to get the guy in charge of the whole factory came by and said, you are doing an awesome job. You know, you just told me how great a job I was doing. You know,
Right.
and I'm sitting there saying, I know, I like order. I like cleanliness. I like discipline, you know. And that area, when I saw it, when they gave me the area, I looked at it and I said, oh no, I can't work in this it's not organized. So I had to organize it. It took me about 2 or 3 weeks, but I
Mm-hmm.
organized it, labeled everything, put everything in the way. These people came in and said, wow, I had supervisors coming by looking at my area,
Uh,
want me to do it. But anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm saying, I'm doing this here. If you don't, you have to work for somebody before you work for yourself.
mm-hmm.
And you have to work on somebody else's plan before you work on yours. And you have to work to make somebody else rich before you can work to make yourself rich, because it gives you that experience. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm saying, this ain't what I'm supposed to be doing. This is not me. I was only there because I had to be.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wasn't there because I wanted to be. I was there because I had to be. And they always say, if you don't do something, if you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to be good at it. Well, right. I was always good at what I did because I made sure that I was the best. I made it the best it could be. You can put me in a garbage can, and that garbage can gonna be the best garbage can there is.
Right.
I just believe in fixing things and making things work. That's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured, me and Charlie were talking. I said, you know what? I need to start something else. I need to do something else. And I always had a love for politics. I always had a love for information. I was a avid book reader, and so Charlie and I talked, and I told him, I said, my company is going to be named ATR, all things relevant. And he said, that's nice, Julius.
Yeah.
And so that's how ATR started. And so I started that with a little consulting, doing campaigns for political campaigns. And then one thing led to another. 5-6 years later, I'm running for mayor. I'm getting all these people elected, so I figured I had the big head. But then I was disqualified. I know that nobody could beat me because the work I put in. If you don't outwork me, you can't beat me.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't outwork me, but they did outsmart me. Mm-hmm. And they got rid of me on the technicality, and that's the end of the story. But God has a way of making things work for the better. Had I become mayor, I wouldn't be able to do all the stuff I'm doing now.
Right.
Media, Our Black Media would have been dead.
Right.
ATR would have been dead if I were to become mayor. So it wasn't meant for me to be mayor. So I am way better off. Somebody asked me the other day, that technicality is out the way. They can't bother me about that now. I can run.
Right.
I don't have any desire to be mayor anymore. And my daughter's the mayor pro tem. Everybody on council, I helped get elected. Mm-hmm. Everybody in the county, just about, I helped get elected. The sheriff, the tax commissioner, the DA, several judges, everybody. I helped get elected to office. So I'm fulfilled with knowing that I am making a difference, and I have made a difference. And so that's part of what drives me. But with ATR, out of that came all these other entities. I don't know whether you was telling me it's time to take a break, and you want me to come back.
No. This what you it's we go. There's no commercial.
Well, you sure?
Yeah, we commercial free. Okay. We commercial free. You know what I'm saying? One thing about, let me break it down. One thing about, we have Bernard Brown show, right? It's more like one-on-one with my favorite people. And it's going to take 2 years to fill this up. So I'm like, I'm not going to short y'all of what y'all got to say with commercials. Because I paid the bill. I just
thought the bills had to be paid.
No, I paid the bill. I paid the bill last week I paid the bill last night on America After Dark. And I told Jay last week, he asked me the same question.
I was just worrying about Our Black Media and ATR. I know they got to pay the bills. So ain't no shows that ATR and Our Black Media that don't have a commercial. So I was just wondering. That's why I was wondering.
No. Hey, I was saying, I paid the bill. We paid the bill last night, so we go roll on.
Okay.
So that's why I paid the bill Saturday, and then the bill I pay on Saturday, we could do the Sunday show for free.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know you the old, I know you all that, but I remember what you told me, June. You said, You remember when I came to you? I said, look here. I said, Drew. I said, man, I want to do the Bernard Brown show. I had the girl that put the intro and doing all that, right? I said, I got everything ready for you. And you said, I see you snuck that in there, but you know, I.
Yeah, you just snuck a new show in. I'm wondering, what the hell he did that? We got enough shit we doing already. He snuck a new show in. But you know, you consistent, and you have a passion for doing what you're doing. So there was no complaining from me too much because
right.
we just dropped somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Somebody who ain't consistent, we could just drop them. Or if they're not consistent, then we can just put them on the back burner. But I'm a person that I love consistency. If you don't do it consistently, you can't be successful at it. So you got to keep striking the rock and striking the rock and striking the rock. And then something will happen one day. But if you here today and then you take a month off, come back, then you come back for 2 weeks and then you take another month off.
Yeah.
You're not consistent. So nobody's going to want you to do anything with them.
Right.
So I believe in consistency. I do it every day. I don't have a day off. I don't take days off. There's no such thing as a day off. I'll rest when I die. And, you know, and that's when rest is. You know, I hope I can live a long time so I can enjoy whatever I'm trying to build. But, but anyway, getting back to your story. Get back to the story.
But you know what? But you know what? On that right there, and since, you know, we're on a real tight budget and we need our money, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be right back.
Need your garments cleaned with care and with a professional touch? Then bring them to One Price Cleaners in Garden City at the Old Farmers Market on Highway 80. Service you can count on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back. We are back. I have the one and only. The one and only. We finally got him sitting down. It's hard to keep this young man down for a while. He here, he there, he everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we got the one and only Mr. Julius Hall. Like I said, thank you, brother, for spending time with me. Thank you for giving me opportunity to have this interview. It's a long time coming. And just want to thank all our sponsors. Thank everybody for supporting our Black Media Network. Thank y'all for just being who you are. I see all y'all comments. And like I say, I always address the comment afterward, because if I address it doing it, then my time going to run out. Just like the CEO say, you know, it's time to pay some bills. So I had to do a commercial to pay some bills, you know what I'm saying? Even so, I'm giving them the devil dose. So I'm taking over the weekend. So I paid some last night. I'm pay some definitely pay tonight. So I'm glad you brought up the mayor situation, because that was going to be my next question. When you ran for mayor, did you ever thought the challenge that you had would be the challenge that came up? I remember when I came down and me and you walked around Port Wentworth, right? And you showed me your vision, you showed me the bridge, and I asked you, I said, Drew, you say South Carolina over there? You remember? Because I didn't know South Carolina would just rent over the bridge, you know, like on downtown Savannah, you go to Chambers Bridge in South Carolina. But when I was in Port Wentworth, I never believed that bridge, I walk over and I'd be in South Carolina. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know that. So your vision that you was going to have for that city, Port Wentworth and Pooler, was a hell of a vision. And you know, you say you won't do it again, but I think if you do it again, then I know what's going to happen. You're going to be the next mayor. So tell me, what's the change of thought?
Well, I don't need to be the mayor now. You know, my daughter is the mayor pro tem, which means she's second in charge. She's behind the mayor, so she'll
Mhm.
probably end up being the mayor in the next 4 to 8 years. I don't. It wasn't about me when I was running. I was running
Right,
because I
right.
saw where we could make this city better.
Hmm.
Fort Worth is right next to Savannah, Georgia. It's right in Savannah. Um, it's just a suburb of Savannah, like all the cities in Atlanta are suburbs
Right.
of Atlanta. We call this Savannah too, unless you're just standing here and you say you're in Port Wentworth. But everything that I had on my 15-point agenda, they're doing. Every single thing that I had on my agenda running for mayor, they are doing. So I don't need to be the mayor.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
are doing every single thing.
So
And so,
piggyback, you lost me. You say you had a 15-point agenda.
yeah. And,
Okay.
and it was my platform. This was what I was running on. I was going to tell it. I told them everything that I want to do, all 15 points, everything. And every single thing they are doing now. So I have no problem with it. Everybody there I helped put in City Hall except the mayor.
Hmm.
You know, I don't have a desire to be the mayor. Things happen for a reason.
Right,
You know,
right.
when I, like I say all the time, God is leading the charge where I'm going.
Hmm.
Might not, a lot of people might not think that. Sometimes I don't think it.
Right, right, right. Yeah.
But it has to be because there's a divine intervention in everything that I'm doing. When I wanted to quit, every time I wanted to quit, Bernard, every single time, God sent somebody to make me stay. I promise you, I have wanted to quit. There have been times when I have wanted to quit, but God sent somebody that made me stay. And if I had been the mayor, then I wouldn't be able to help nobody from this particular point, from where I'm at. The mayor would have things in the whole city for everybody. In the job that I am, I can help everybody, but I can concentrate on my community.
Right, right.
So it's a big difference. So I was not allowed to do that by the Spirit. It wasn't by man's power. It was by God's power that
Right.
it was not right for me to be where I was trying to be at that time. So, and here it is, about about 3-4 months after that, I get to the point where I am in a position to make everything happen.
Hmm.
And it's not by my doing, it's by God's doing.
Right.
So had I been mayor, I would not have been able to do those things. But now with Our Black Media, we have everything that anybody could want to get information from. We have a magazine, and which the magazine has been dormant for about 6 months, but we're about to start it back up in the next 30 days. The publisher is back, but the editor, I mean, she's back, so she'll be putting that out again. We have podcast shows, over 20 plus podcast shows. You have 2 of them. We have our own Roku station. We're the only ones in this whole region here with our own Roku station doing what we do in our community. Ain't nobody else in Georgia got that like we have, not in doing what we're doing.
Right.
So that gives us magazines, that gives us social media with our podcast shows, that gives us Roku TV with our own Roku TV channel. And now we have radio. We have our own radio station with Hot 2100 Savannah. Hot 2100 Savannah, we are, and that's the code there. And you can get anybody can just take that QR code right there, and it'll take you straight to Hot 2100 Savannah. That's our newest radio station. We have we've been around now for about 65 days, something like this, almost 70 days. And we're in the process of building. Need everybody to join on. So if you just scan that, you can get it. Go back and scan it now, scan it later, scan it with your phone. It'll take you to our platform and our radio platform. And so we got all those things: magazine, Roku TV, podcast shows, now radio. And we also have what else? Books. We're going to have a publishing line as our next thing. For all upcoming artists, we're going to be able to put your book on our platform. So we want to have all phases of information where you have to get it from us. You don't have to, but you'll be best to get it from us because we're going to give it to you uncut and real. Right. And, that's what we do over here.
Yeah. And you know what, man, you must be. Are you in my living room? Or you because you just going in these segments right where I was going at. Are you looking down on my desk or something? Because I'm like,
well, you leading me that way. So your questions, I have to go and hit those points because of your questions.
Right.
You didn't send me no darn questions.
No, that's the good part about Bernard Brown. So I'm not gonna send you no question. So if I would have sent you some question, then you'd have been looking over and said, "Let me see, you gonna say that." No, is when you don't know the heart. That's when you ain't got time to think. You thinking it with your heart. That's it. It's in your heart and not your mind. So why you came up with the vision and why you came up with Hot 21 Savannah in the world? Because it's a great radio, great music. I listen to it when I'm teaching no kids. I just keep it down low. You always had one thing I can say about you, Juju. You never think low. You always think big. When we was in that, the cool and the smooth group, man, your vision was so high, man. We had to catch up with you. We were like, what are you talking about? Really? I mean, come on, man. All we want to do is run around and have fun and go to school and have fun with this and that. I'm like, what are he talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
cool and smooth. That was some type of group back then. We had a group called the Cool and the Smooth when we were in high school, and we were right out of high school. What grade? We was like 11th through the.
We was in 11th. We was just getting out. We was leaving 11th on to the 12th.
Yeah, and we had that group for about 4 or 5 years. But we were the Cool and Smooth. We had an auxiliary group of women. And but the Cool and Smooth, we all were just some handsome black men that were women killers.
There you go. not physically killers, but we was killing them.
Yeah, and we just it was just fun for us to go. We went everywhere in groups. It wasn't like we were a gang. But we were a non-violent gang. You didn't go nowhere and mess with us because we were 9, 10, 12 deep and wherever we went at. And we didn't go looking for anything except women. We didn't go looking for a fight. We didn't go looking for trouble. We went looking to have a good time and to party. We went deep. And that's the difference. We wasn't about getting in no trouble. It was just about going places and understanding that we were that group. And when we came up with that and we started that, we were just some solid young men. We were all clean. We were down wherever we went. And I was the first one carrying a briefcase at school when I was in high school. Michael Harris, we went, bro, had our books was in our briefcase. We went to school with a briefcase in the 10th grade.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part. So I'm gonna cut, since this is a part one, part two. So I'm gonna just cut on. Since you led us on to that, I remember when I think we came to Tonkin Wolverine, the best school in the world. Jamal, the best school in the world. You know, we were smooth, cool, handsome, athletic. I mean, we didn't play. And I think we got there my junior year. Y'all already had the briefcase there, but we got there our junior year. Then it was DL and Greg, and we had our briefcase, and all our briefcase came together. So we walking around the school. We don't know what the hell was in it, but we had it. I know what was in mine. Nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a book in there.
Hey, it was so all like, man, I ain't got time to, hey, Drew, I ain't got time to, I can't let in because Coach Turner wanted us in the weight room. So I had to get my arm ready for the weight.
Yeah.
But you, like I said, your vision was always high. And you just like that. You were just like that. And like I say, you know, we got the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm going to piggyback on what we got everything out that way, the good. I think we talked about. So let's I'm gonna read something. To you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You have a beautiful handwriting and you tell a very good story. I believe that you are going to be a writer. Who's that?
I believe it was my homeroom teacher, Miss Ethel Lambert.
Yes. In 1980, Tonkin High School, she told you that.
She told me I was going to be a writer, and she told me how beautiful my handwriting was.
Mm-hmm.
She said, you write better than anybody, and she said you have a way of telling stories. So when you take your next break, I'll get my book for you.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to, and see, I'm prepared. I'm prepared. I'm telling you, I'm better than Steven. I'm better than 60 Minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm prepared. So I'm going to read this into you too. Mr. Hall, there's nothing wrong with bragging because no one can brag on you like you can because no one know you better than you, but be able to back it up. Who's that?
That was Mr. Charles Brandon, my 11th grade. No, it was my senior class homeroom teacher, I believe.
Yeah.
Charles Brandon.
Yeah, he coached history. And the winner is
yeah, smart man. Smart man. He was a smart man. That was a smart man. You ought to see the scrapbooks he had on everything. He had a scrapbook on everything, but he taught us a lot. He poured into the students, and that's where we get this foundation of pouring into people. You know, if you can't do something for somebody, just get the hell out of the way. And our teachers back then poured into us because our parents invested in us. But these parents these days, we had a big conversation today, me and Charlie Brown and his wife and his son, about how bad these kids are today, all over, not just in Savannah, but all over. And we were trying to figure out how we can get a handle on them. You know?
Yeah, you're right. Mr. Brandon, like I said, I met him once I became a junior and I was in his history class. And this man, one thing about what we had and what these young kids don't have now, we have leaders. They led us to where we're at now today. You know, and some people, those Tonkin Wolverine, they all of them, they got egos and this, and they think they're better than this. We are. And yes, because of our egos that we have, Jew, that's why we are the men we are today.
Yeah, and they back then they taught us to believe in ourselves.
Yeah,
these kids today, they want, and I y'all always telling me that we got to do this with the kids, do this with the kids. The kids have to listen. They don't know, so they have to be able to listen. We have experienced this, and the kids want you to, you want to listen to you, but you don't want to listen to us. Oh, we hear you.
Yeah.
but we see you also. So what we're doing, we have to be able to instruct these kids on where they need to go at, because we've already experienced that. And if they don't listen, then what happens is they don't get taught the lesson, and they have to go through that experience. And then they'll go back and say, man, he tried to tell me that. They tried to show me this. But it's our duty to try to help these kids.
Right.
We don't have another duty outside of trying to make sure that it's right, and the things that we do it impacts their life in a positive way. Right.
I got two more. This is not the end of the journey. It is only the beginning of it. Trust God. Who said that? In 1991.
I believe it was my mama.
Yeah.
Who told me that?
Yeah. At the federal courthouse, Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, that was my mama.
That was your mama. That was your mama.
That was my mama.
See, I do my research. Yeah. That was. Hey, let's talk about your mama. And then we're gonna go on another break, and then we're gonna come to where we need to be, because the good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's talk about your mama for a minute. And matter of fact, before we talk about your mama, let me read this one. Delete everything from your life that does not add value to it. 2012, Atlanta, Georgia.
That was my brother Ulysses, and that is something I live by now. If it don't add value, why should I be doing it? It has to add value to something. It has to add value to somebody's life. Don't do it unless it's adding value. I don't care what it is. Don't even have sex unless it's adding value to your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't do nothing unless it's adding value to your life. I don't even have conversations that don't add value to my life. Right. I'm serious. I hate meaningless conversations. I don't even I tell people all the time, don't invite me to no meeting if it's not going to be action after the meeting, because I don't like meeting just to meet. I like to have action after a meeting. If I believe in something that you're telling me and you invite me to it, then let's move on it. I don't like to just have a meeting just to have a meeting. That's not me. I don't meet just for nothing. Right.
Yeah, we remember that. I remember. And I'm gonna say this, then we get to your mother. I remember we met on Hall Street. We were in Hall Street, was all in the house. We were just talking, and you came in there. We were just acting a fool, and you was like, I don't know if you remember this. You was like, okay, so what's the value of this meeting? What we gonna talk about? Because if not, y'all wasting my time. We were like, what the hell do you think he talking about? I was always in a hurry to get things done. And when you slow down, then I always thought that was the devil just holding you back. There needs to be progress. Martin Luther King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But by all means, keep moving. You got to keep moving, man. That's what my life is about. It's about a forward progress. There's nothing behind me. I don't look in my rearview mirror. I'm not going to trip over something behind me. Because if I'm looking behind me, then I'm going to trip over nothing that's in front of me, or something that's in front of me that I need to step over. You see what I'm saying? So ain't nothing behind me that I need to be looking at. I need to be looking straight forward. My past is my past. I can't let you hold me accountable for nothing I did in my past. It's only about my future and where I'm going. Right. You absolutely. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your beloved mother. Let's talk about your mother, because to be honest, I don't think I ever met your mother. I could have, but I'm not sure. So let's talk
Yeah,
about
we're all childhood friends, and we grew up as friends and everything. But our parents were the parents that were working. Our parents was always, and we kept the house. We kept things in order. They trusted us, or we got our butts cut.
Yeah.
So, y'all probably all met my mama, but
right.
don't remember. Been so long ago. Because I've been to your house several times, met your mom. But my mom was never home.
Yeah.
She was always working. My mom is where I get my hustle from.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was always, we had a restaurant, we had a gas station, we had a pool room. I was always hustling. My mom was a hustler. My grandmother was a hustler. I remember selling crabs on the back of a station wagon, my grandmama's station wagon. Crab lady, hollering crab lady, going to Allendale, South Carolina, where my family is from, and all the Mainers there. And the Mainers own so much property there and land. They have peaches and watermelons and plums and corn and everything. And we bring all that stuff back, and snap beans and everything. I had to peel the peaches and make peach preserves and snap beans and all that when I was little, so it was a lot that that we did back then that the kids today would not do. They will not do what we did.
Yes.
They wouldn't. But we went, back to my mom, she was a hustler. She believed in providing for us. We didn't want for nothing.
Yeah.
We had a pool in our backyard when I was a little boy. And it was a above ground pool, but it was one of them big old above ground pool. You could stroke and get to the other side. I couldn't swim a lick, and we had we lived on Hudson Hill, and you could the kids would come over to our house on the weekends to watch movies on the outdoor projector thing that we had.
Right.
We were the only kids in the neighborhood with the 2-seater go-kart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And back in the day, Arnie and Creech and all of us and Lil Ra, on Hudson Hill, Blue Moon. There was a bunch of us off of Hudson Hill up there that used to just that grew up in that area. And then we crossed Bay Street. That's where y'all was. We all played ball together. That's how we all became friends. Right. Anyway, back to my mom. My mom instilled in me to always fight. Don't let nobody tell you what you cannot do. And ain't nobody ever been able to tell me what I could not do. If I put my mind to it, I could do it. My grandma, all I saw was hustle. I remember my grandmama having a nightclub in the building that we lived in. The building we still own now, a big old 4,000 square foot building out in West Atlanta now. It was a Catholic school. Yeah. And she had a nightclub in there. And she had apartments in there. And she had boarding rooms in there. It was huge.
Yeah.
And so we lived in, she had 3 apartments in there, 4 boarding rooms, and 4 apartments and 4 boarding rooms in that one place. And the place where she ended up, when she closed the nightclub, turning it into her apartment. Mm-hmm. All that was back when I was a little boy. I'm 63 now. And so, you're talking 55 years ago,
Yeah.
a boy.
Yeah, that's a long time. That's a long time.
But my mom was a hustler. My grandma was a hustler, and that's where I get it from.
Man, you know what? That's why I wanted to do this interview, because I know you're gonna say some things that I didn't know. Cause come on, you growing up, man. All the thing I was trying to do and trying to get up in the NFL to take care of my mama, and we hustle. But I didn't know. What you just told me, the whole world probably didn't know. I didn't know about your grandmama. I didn't know about your mama. I didn't know like you said, we going in and out each other's houses, but my mama basically, rest in peace, she was more like My daddy worked longshoreman, so my mama was just a housewife. She the one get all the ass whooping and the cussing, and my daddy come home and my grandma, she up 12 o'clock at night cooking breakfast, and we waking up smelling it, and we going in the kitchen and it's your daddy's on blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, mama, you know. But we growed up happy, and you, I'm telling you, I have never seen you mad. I have never seen you mad. And I can say about the rest of them, DL, Kick, and all, I done seen them mad, but I never seen you mad. And so we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back with, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all. We're going to come back with the Julius Hall story, Crossing the Line. We'll be right back.
Savannah, are you looking for some of the best Southern soul food? Then check out Kim's Cafe at 714 MLK Boulevard. The food is so good, you'll think that your mother cooked it. Located in the heart of Savannah, Kim's has a menu that includes breakfast anytime, lunch when you need it, and dinner so you won't have to cook when you get home. They also cater all types of events and can host your reserved event at the restaurant. Come see what everyone has been raving about. Great food, great atmosphere, and a great time. Kim's Cafe, 714 MLK Boulevard in beautiful downtown Savannah.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to the one and only, the Bernard Brown Show. And we finally got the man, the myth, the one and only, Michael Jackson II, smooth, cool, the president, the I can go on and on. I can give him so many names, y'all. We did our part one, and I call him Juju because he's Juju. So now we're gonna get down to, you know, I know Jew, you know, everybody waiting, everybody like, okay, you know, let's cut through the chain, let's get to where we want to get here. So I'm gonna bring this up. Here it come. What have been your pivot, your biggest pivot, and the Julius Hall story, crossing the line? What line did you cross?
Well, back in the day, some 35, 40 years ago, I was a police officer. I got in the police department in 1982, I believe. I worked at the police department since 1977 or 70, might have been 78. I started working at the police department. I was dating a young lady back in high school, and her mom worked at the police department and personnel. And the next thing you know, I'm working at the police department while I'm in high school. I wasn't a police officer until I became 20, but back then I was 20 years old. And but when I became a police officer, I was a police officer about 9.5 years before I got into a little trouble. And the Julius Hall story, my book is, glad to see it. You got the book. My book, the Julius Hall story, Crossing the Line, the Julius Hall story, is about it's my autobiography. It's about me being stupid enough to organize my cousin's drug business. He had a business that every time I see him, he got money, but next week I see him, he ain't got none because he knew what to do with the money. Now, here I am, the smart one. I guess being smart wasn't good all the time. So I tried to tell him what he needed to do. So next thing I know, voila, I'm the guy. I'm the one that's running shit now. And that wasn't cool, and that wasn't smart. And that's what I try to steer these young kids away from today. Learn from my life. Even young police officers, they need to learn from my life. They need to be calling me in so I can speak to these young officers. But they don't think that way. They're not wired to think that maybe that's who needs to speak to these guys so they can understand that these things will happen to you if you don't pay attention and if you don't be disciplined enough to do what you're supposed to do. But I got in a little trouble and ended up going to federal prison for 21 years. That was in 1991. And so I got out in 2013. So 21 and a half years. I got out in the beginning of 2013. So you could say 2012. So 21 and a half years. Was there anything else you wanted to know about that story or anything? I mean,
yeah.
I wrote the book so that everybody can read the book and they can find out everything, you know?
Right. Yeah, you
can get the book on the bottom of the screen, scrolling right there, which you got down there. I appreciate that. Anybody want to get the book, they can get the book. This is it here. That's me in high school right there. I played all sports, you know, and that's me at the bottom right there in my police uniform. But I crossed the line, you know, which I shouldn't have done. But hey, you know, life is life. And I wouldn't be living the life that I'm living now had I not crossed the line.
Right.
So I had to go through this process that God had me go through so that I can be where I am today.
Right.
I went through a whole process. This whole thing has propelled me to do what I am in the process of doing today. Because had I not gone, then I would be doing something else. Had I not gone to prison, I probably would be just retiring from the police department. You know, had I not gone, then there would be no ATR. There would be no All Black Media. I probably would be rich and probably wouldn't have been at the police department because I had listen, I'm totally serious. I think I talk about it in my book.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was on the crest of becoming very rich. I was an avid reader. I love magazines, especially Black Enterprise magazine. So I'm reading Black Enterprise and I read about this company called Microsoft. And so I started telling people about Microsoft. I went and I had everybody. I went and brought 100 issues of a magazine. I went to every magazine shop in Savannah and brought 100 magazines. This one here had 25. The next one probably had 10 or 15. I went over here to this bookstore and they had 20. I had 100 of them. And I think back then they cost like $1.50 for a magazine. And I brought them out my own pocket. And I was having a meeting. I was going to get all my friends to come and look at this company called Microsoft. I swear on everything I love. Microsoft. I was going to tell you, I talk about it in the book. Microsoft, we're going to invest. I was trying to get everybody to put our monies together and we was going to invest $100,000 in Microsoft. If you invested $1,000 in Microsoft in 1991, you are a millionaire today. Multimillionaire. Today. I saw it, but unfortunately, things happened and I went to prison. Things happened that just threw my life out of line when we were supposed to be having this meeting. I had at least 25 guys already lined up. And I was going to see how that meeting go. I was going to get 25 more friends and see, you know, hey, we need to invest in this company. I'm reading. Like I said, I was an avid reader. And I loved what they were saying. Look, you go back and find the Black Enterprise magazine from 1990, 1991 time. And they had in there about Microsoft. And I'm reading about it. And this is what I want to have everybody. Let's invest in stocks. Not only Microsoft, there was other stocks that I wanted to get into at the time. And but life didn't have it. that way for us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're still missing opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities we're missing today. That we don't put our monies together because there's a large distrust in the Black community, especially amongst us, our men. Women do more together than Black men.
Right.
And so I was having that meeting back then. I'm not bragging or nothing, but I was a visionary. No. I thought that maybe this is what we need to do so we can make money. You know?
No. You always had, and I just want to let everybody that's watching this show share. Trust me, what this young man is saying, this young man is the real deal Holyfield. I just wanted everybody to see a different side, and everybody they'll assume stories, but they don't know the story. And so I wanted to bring the man here to let him tell you his own story while he's here. So we started off, we're going to get more deep into the book on part 2, but we just started off, the flow mat of what's going on. And, last 2 questions. I know your faith in God strong, because if it wasn't for God, you wouldn't be sitting right here today talking to us. And I know your faith is so strong. So my thing is, I want to know, and everybody else want to know, what is your biggest pivot about the pastors, that you have very, very strong feelings about? What is your biggest pivot with them?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Listen. Black people are programmed and brainwashed in this country. We are. And I need to talk straight to the Black community. We believe whatever they put in a book for us. And when people put it in a book for us, then we believe that is what the unadulterated truth is, when it's not. I had 21 years to sit back and read other books. I had 21 and a half years to sit back and study religion. I had 21 years to sit back and watch politics the way that's why I'm so ingrained in politics. At one time I could name all 435 Congress people, 535 with the senators.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I could name all of them and tell you where they were from. That's how much I watched. That's how much I read on it. I was reading USA Today every day, Wall Street Journal every day. I was a information fool. Surprised that my brain ain't over fried now. But my problem with the pastors is that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You got some pastors that are starting to talk to their congregations now, because we're in a dire situation right now. Everything is not certain. There's a lot of uncertainty. We're in a sunken pit, and somebody needs to help pull us out. And who is that incumbent upon? It's incumbent upon those pastors, those people who we put in leadership positions. You see, it's their job. They have a charge to keep. But after all these years of reading, I saw that all we've been told is a lie. Listen, it's not about religion with me. It's about spirituality. I'm connected to God. It's about spirituality with me. You can't tell me come be no Christian, because most of the Christian pastors are full of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just telling you like it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about most of them. About 90% of them ain't doing what they're supposed to do. We got a large percentage of them that are doing what they're supposed to do. Not large, a small percentage of them that are doing what they're supposed to do. They need help. But if they all came together and understood their power, we would be unstoppable. We could stop that trend, that downward trend that our community is on. They don't want to build nothing but the church's bank account in their own bank account instead of building our communities. And so that's why I'm so hard on pastors. I know they don't care, but somebody got to say it. It's got to be on the record somewhere that somebody told you that this was going to happen. I warned everybody about Donald Trump. Kamala Harris tried to warn everybody about Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing exactly what we told y'all he was going to do, but nobody wanted to hear it and nobody wanted to vote. I was in a room full of young people the other day. Every one of them never been to jail. All of them can vote. None of them voted. None of them voted. They say it didn't really concern them and they weren't even worried about it. But it's going to concern them. And see, that's where the pastors, that's why the churches are sinking into that pit also. That's why the membership is down. Nobody's going to these churches. You got the churches full of women and no men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. A Playboy pastor is in heaven. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So, but because they're not doing what they're supposed to do, you're not rallying the men. You're not giving me a purpose to come. You're not having church for a purpose. Your mission is not purposeful. A purposeful bowl. You keep talking about, oh, he died and he rose in 3 days. We hear this. We know this. What are you going to do outside of that pulpit? I have a charge to keep also from the walk that I'm walking. The walk that I'm walking, I'm not perfect. I screw up every day.
Yeah.
I do something stupid every day. I'm not perfect. I cuss like a drunk Marine, because it's the passion in me.
Yes.
That I do it from. It's not the ignorance in me or anything. It's the passion that I have.
Right.
But my problem with the pastors is they need to come and help. They need to come and do what they need to do. I have a problem with leadership organizations like the NAACP, the National Action Committee. At least Al Sharpton is doing something. But the pastors are not. And the NAACP, I have not seen them. And especially when you talk local, we need action locally. You can't wait on see what they do in Washington, then see what they do in Atlanta, then see what they do in Macon, and wait for it to come to Savannah. You got to be on the front lines. You got to be leaders now. Mm-hmm. You can't wait on the number one pastor here to jump out and do something. Mm-hmm. You jump out. Call that pastor and say, hey, come on, let's do it. And don't do it just for a photo op. Mm-hmm. Don't do it for a photo op. Do it because it's the right thing to do. Do it because you want to make sure that your community is not devastated from what's coming. Oh, and it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's going to be a national emergency in this country, and y'all not even prepared for it, pastors. Y'all don't even have the people prepared for it. I'd rather be prepared and it don't happen than to have it happen and you don't be prepared. And that's what's going to happen. And they're not doing nothing. They're waiting on John to do it. John is waiting on Bill to do it. Bill is waiting on Greg to do it. It ain't going to happen that way. You got to all have a meeting when you go to your ministerial alliance meetings and understand that you have to start getting out in the community, pastors, and doing something. You have to start calling meetings. The civic center should be filled every week. This is a black county, whether you want to believe it or not. We got a black mayor in the biggest city. We got a black tax commissioner, a black DA, or the black county commissioner is black. We got a black coroner, black sheriff. We got everything here. This is a black county, whether y'all want to believe it or not. And nobody is sounding the alarm. Nobody is ready for what's going to happen because you don't think it's going to happen because you're not paying attention. But that's my beef with the pastors. That my beef is that they're not doing everybody ain't called by God. Some of them called themselves.
Right.
So that's my beef with the pastors. And I hope some pastors listen to this. I hope anybody that's watching, share it with your pastors. They have a charge to keep. They have a duty and an obligation to make sure that their congregation is okay. They should be like Catholic priests. Ain't no money. Ain't about the money. Ain't about the Cadillac. Ain't about the big home. The church going to put you in the house and that's it. Church going to probably get you a car, but it ain't the Cadillac. It ain't that Mercedes. But all we think about is the Cadillac and the Mercedes. We got a church on every damn corner. It's over 1,000 churches in Chatham County. 1,000 churches in a population with only 300,000 people. 1,000 churches with 300,000 people. And if you count, 300,000 people, 1,000 churches. Don't make sense. Half of them empty. Every Sunday, you ride by them, they empty. Because it's about egos. It's about egos. And if your ego is too big to understand that I need to join with this other church and we need to do some things to help bring our communities out of this pit, then who's going to follow you? Nobody wants to follow somebody who ain't doing nothing but worrying about themselves. If your church ain't growing, it ain't the people's fault. It's your fault. If your church ain't packed and the people don't want to come, they're tired of hearing the same old message. So that's my problem with the churches. I don't know how much of that you wanted, but
no. One thing about me is like I ask questions that people that don't know us want to know. So I ask the question. So if anybody out there, I think you got your answers. You know what I'm saying? Don't I always say, don't kill the messengers. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill the messenger. Don't let us cussing, get past the cussing and hear the message. And I thank you, brother, for taking your time Sunday, definitely Sunday, where you could be with your wife and cooking dinner and watching TV. But I appreciate you being you. I hope we cleared up a lot of, conversation behind our back. And I hope we clear that up because we all have haters. If you ain't got no haters, then, you ain't nobody because everybody got haters. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you. I thank you for your time. And I thank everybody and y'all share. And like I say, I address all y'all message. And because I know I see a lot, y'all got a lot to say. But thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. And you want to get a last word? You got a last word to say?
Well, I appreciate you for having me on. I appreciate you for asking those relevant questions. Part two, whenever you want to do it, we can do that and get it over with so that we can get everything out and talk about everything. Want everybody to go out and get the book, Crossing the Line. See, I not only do books, I've been writing since high school. I have a book of poetry also. So here's my book of poetry. Where is that camera? My book of poetry and my book of my autobiography. And this is my book of poetry called The Journey.
There you go.
So I don't know why I got it. Okay, there it is.
There you go.
That's my book, The Journey. And that's my book. This is a book of poetry. If you like poetry, then you can come and get the poetry. And this is my book. You can get it on Amazon. You can call me, anything, any way you want to get it, you can get it. But hope on part two, I'll be able to talk about our platforms and the things that we're doing and where we want to go at with all the stuff that we're doing and what's to come in the future,
Most definitely. Definitely it's going to be a part two. And you know what? We're not going to let y'all wait for a whole month. This part one with the Jewish Hall Sunday. And then y'all tune in next week where we get funky, messy, part 2 of the Jewish Hall story, Crossing the Line. I thank y'all. And my brother, I appreciate it. And we out of here.
Thank you.